Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This video is going to be an overview of the new Catrice lip glosses and lip oils that they launched for their fall-winter launch for 2023-2024. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me today. Today I have an overview of the 5 new lip glosses and the 5 new lip oils that Catrice has launched as part of their new lineup. I already showed you swatches of these in my first impression review where I did a full face makeup look with as many of the new products as I could get my hands on and that I could fit onto my face in one go. However, there were some other new lippies as well, so I tried those already in that video. So if you want to see what the Max It Up plumping lip glosses are like, I would like to refer you back to that video. Today we're focusing on the other lip products that I couldn't feature in that video at the time. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and that greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love reviewing Essence and Catrice stuff for you, eyeshadow palettes, as well as getting the use out of my makeup. We're going to ask ourselves today, are these new lip products from Catrice any good? So yeah, today's video is going to focus on the new lip formulas that Catrice has come out with. There were no new lipstick lines in both the Essence and the Catrice updates. This was pretty much the only thing that was new lip product wise. So then I always like to do a separate videos where I show you those. So we have 2 new formulas. We have the Marble-Licious Lip Gloss and the Glossin Glow Tinted Lip Oils. And since I know that lip oils have a little bit of a staining factor in some of the shades, I will be doing the lip glosses first and then we'll do the tinted lip oils. So I'll make sure to leave some timestamps down below so that if you just want to watch one part of the video, you can. Also, if you don't want to hear me ramble about the formula and all that, and you just want to see swatches, I'll make sure to link you to the blog post down below that's going to go live the moment this video goes live, so you can just have a look at the swatches and you don't have to hear me rambling on if you don't want to. Some people don't want to see what these look like on the lips. They just want to see a swatch and take decisions based on that. So if that, whatever floats your boat, I'm trying to cater to as many people here as I can, and let's just get to these glosses first. So there are 5 lip glosses in the Marble-Licious Lip Gloss Liquid Lip Balm kind of thing. And they have this really pretty, let me grab one of the deeper shades so you can see. So they have this marble effect. And this marble effect isn't anything new in terms of makeup, because I think it was Givenchy or Guerlain, like one of these luxury brands that did it first. And Catrice isn't the first drugstore brand to copy it. In fact, I think the first drugstore brand to really copy it was Makeup Revolution, and I still have mine because I think I decluttered my makeup collection right before I talked about the new Makeup Revolution stuff I had in. So I bought the shade Berry Pink and Bitten Red. And these work similarly to what the Catrice ones will do when you see those swatched. They look really fun and swirly in the tube, but when you apply them or when you swatch them, you only get one color. And I feel that every time you put the doe foot applicator back in, the product starts to mix a little bit more. So I think if you use these products a lot over time, that very pretty marble effect is just going to disappear. That's just the way I feel. And the reason why I'm holding these up is because I did not like these, and I like the Catrice ones so much more. And I need to tell you why I didn't love these. And like the shades don't go with any of the shades I have by Catrice, but I'll do some comparative swatches as well in this video so you can see. These were really, really thick and gloopy, and some people were saying like, oh, but you only really need a little bit with these and you don't need that much. You need to take most of it off. But there's just so much product on these doe foots, and the product is so thick and sticky that it's incredibly difficult to control how much product you're actually using. I also didn't love the scent of these. They smell like plastic. Not a good look. I didn't feel these were hydrating on my lips at all. They just really sit on the lips and they never truly sink in. So that's why these 2, I didn't love. But these new Catrice ones, let me hold up all the shades so you can see, I do enjoy. However, they call this a liquid lip balm. And to be quite fair, formula-wise, these very much remind me of one of the best gloss formulas that Catrice has ever done, which is the Better Than Fake Lips Volume Gloss, which a lot of people think are going to be lip plumping. They're not. They just have volume because they have a lot of shine and they sort of plump your lips that way, but they don't have like a plumping agency. So these don't have that as well. But formula-wise, these very much remind me of the Better Than Fake Lips. I have a video up with the entire range that I filmed around this time last year. So if you want to see those, I'll link those in the description box down below. In my local drugstore, those are still for sale, but online that line is very difficult to find. And I just feel that this is a new line that Catrice has come out with to replace the Better Than Volume glosses. That's the way it feels. So we have a pink, like a nude mauve, a nude beigey brown, a reddish shade, and a berry shade. And the berry shade has sparkle in it, so that may be good to know. The other ones are full-on creams. So that's what we've got going on here. So these are really rich and creamy. They're not the longest lasting on the lips. I mean, they're not supposed to be. These aren't liquid lipsticks or anything like that. But if you want that nourishing, very hydrating feel on your lips, then I think these are good ones. So let me go in with number 10. This is Swirl It, Don't Shake It. And it's the lightest shade, and it's this very pretty pink. And that would be Swirl It, Don't Shake It on my lips. It's too light for it to really do much for me at all. So I knew this wasn't going to be my favorite. I'm trying it out for you guys. I've got naturally quite pigmented lips, so that means that whenever something's too light, my natural lip color will just come through. So this adds shine. It looks very pretty on. Feels incredibly hydrating and comfortable. I understand why they call this more of a liquid balm kind of thing, because it's got that slightly more balmy texture, but I do feel that that's why these don't last as long as perhaps a gloss that may be a little bit stickier. But overall, formula-wise, as I mentioned, they remind me of that other lip gloss formula that I love so much. Scent-wise, these have a hint of vanilla to them. I feel they have a stronger scent than what I'm used to with some Catrice products, but they're not scent-free at all, so that may be good to know. Now we're moving on to my favorite shade, because this is the mauve one. This is Don't Slurp So Loud, which is 020, and as you can see, it's got this like plummy base to it, but then it's got the white marbling. And that's what Don't Slurp So Loud looks like. As you can see, it's my lips but better. It just amplifies them a little bit. It hydrates them very nicely. It makes them look a little bit more finished. I feel that with a shade that's very close to my lips, I feel that it, like, if the formula is good at like filling in some of the lines in my lips, it just makes it look a little bit more even. And that's what this does. Again, a good amount of shine with these, which is what I enjoy, but without them being overly glittery. And I think that that may be because of the white that this is infused with. I feel they go on lighter than what you might expect. So that may be something to bear in mind if you have a deeper skin tone, that these may not work on you the way you might expect looking at it in the packaging, because I feel that once the colors mix in the tube, you get a slightly lighter shade than you might expect just looking at the color. The brown one is called Don't Be Shaky. This is shade 030. And this seems to be a nude. And in this lighting, but I've got some very strong studio lights on here, I can see some flecks of gold shimmer in this. But in natural lighting, I couldn't see that at all. So now I need to scrutinize all of these. They seem to have a little bit of pearl in them. This one doesn't, it seems, but it's only noticeable in these very bright studio lights. I've swatched these in daylight and then I didn't see any sparkle at all. So if you were afraid that these were too shimmer heavy, that's not the case, but I'm very curious to see how the berry one goes, because that has the most sparkle right off the bat. So 030, Don't Be Shaky is another one that's very pretty. I feel that because this is a little bit deeper again than the plummy mauve one we just swatched, it does a little bit more for my lips actually, which I hadn't expected, because I thought undertone wise this could be a little bit of a weird clash, but because they are pretty sheer and they're not that like intensely pigmented when it comes to color, I think no matter your lip color, you can pretty much wear these. Just note they can be a little bit lighter than you might expect. But I feel that this, again, makes my lips look a little bit more plumped, a little bit more hydrated. Again, it's got that really lovely hydrating formula. And so far, I think this may be my favorite. I thought it was going to be too brown toned, But because of how the colors mix, I think it still looks very pretty on me, and I can definitely get away with this if I just want to go for that barely there lip for my work day or something. And then we have the red one. This is 040 Swirl It, Twirl It. And again, in this lighting, I can detect like it seems to be creamy. Again, I can't really detect any shimmer like in some of the other ones. Also not in this lighting. And this looks red. And everything just has this like paddle-shaped doe food applicator. The packaging is exactly the same as the lifting, the Better Than Fake lips. So that's why I'm comparing them to that as well, because Catrice now just seems to be doing a lot of their glosses in this kind of like layout. They've not changed the packaging, they just changed the colors and the formula ever so slightly. So 040 Swirl It, Twirl It is the red one, and as you can see, it's the most colorful, most pigmented one we have so far. It is sheer though. It's not like a full-on red. It's not gonna like be like a pow red in your face, but if you like that just bitten sort of lip stainy kind of look that is really happening right now, and it's something I'm really liking. I'm very much into like just a colored lip balm, maybe a lip tint, a lip oil, and I'm good to go. I'm currently not really into the like full-on red lipstick, and then this can be a great alternative. Or also if you want to try a red but you don't want it to be too full-on, I think this can be pretty. And what I want to try with this for a minute, like if you blot it down and you take away some of the shine, you still have a little bit of color left and you really get that stained effect. So that was something I wanted to see how that worked. But yeah, you don't have to wear these full on if you just want to like apply these and let them sink in for a little bit to get the hydration that you want from the product. Then you might even be able to forego a lip balm in the morning. You can blot it down at the end of your makeup routine and you're out the door and you still have a little bit of color left. Toss it in your makeup bag and you can touch it up throughout the day. I think this is a really nice, lovely, travel-friendly product as well. And last but not least, the berry shade. This is 050 Strawless Flawless. And I'm not sure if you can see in this lighting, but this seems to have a blue shimmer running through it. So this is the one I'm the most nervous for because it seems to be the most intense. So let's see what this looks like and if we have actual visible sparkle on our lips. None of the other ones did that, so I hope this one doesn't either, because I'm not a huge fan of shimmer on my lips. So this is what it looks like. I think in the viewfinder, 050 Strawless Flawless looks very pretty on. But in real life, I can see the frost finish happening. And this is such a throwback because it reminds me a lot of a lip gloss I had back in my clubbing days, in my teens, like the early 2000s we're talking here. This is very Y2K. It's very on trend. I think if you're a lot younger and you haven't tried this trend in the early 2000s, you may be very excited for something like this. But for me, as a millennial who's gone through like the paces already in the past, I don't necessarily need this in my life. Does it look pretty? I think it does. I think it is a very pretty shade, and I think the berry tone is perfect for the fall time. It doesn't look overly blue, which is what I was afraid of, but you can definitely see a hint of blue on my bottom lip, and this definitely has the strongest frost finish of all of these. The other four I feel just have a beautiful shine, and here you can see some of those shimmer particles coming through, and that's just never really my favorite thing to be wearing. I've decluttered most of the glosses I owned that had sparkle in them because I just prefer a cream, because I wear it instead of a nude lip, and I very often already wear something very sparkly on my eyes, and I don't need both. But yeah, if you want to go for the Y2K sort of trend, this one is very much in line with that. Okay, so that shimmer was also a little bit more difficult to take off. I feel I still have a couple of flecks here and there that you can see. But yeah, with a makeup wipe, I was able to get it off. So if you use a cleanser at the end of the day, it will perfectly be fine. But I think that as the product wears down, you can expect the shimmer to be left on your lips and the color will fade. I'm pretty sure that that's gonna happen because the color removed very easily, but the sparkle stayed behind on my lips, which has to be your cup of tea. Just food for thought, I think. Moving on then to the Glossing Glow Tinted Lip Oils, and these are the ones I'm the most excited for. There are again 5 shades. We go from a very pale pink that looks very similar to the Dior Lip Glow, which again, I'll insert a comparative swatch so you can see. We get a reddish shade, we get an orange, we get a pink, like a hot pink, which I think is going to be my favorite, and we have this yellow tone. And the shades of this remind me a lot of a much more high-end brand that I saw for the first time in real life when I was in London, and that is Haus Labs. And I'm thinking, possibly, that this can be a dupe for this. So, and the shades of the Catrice line very much remind me of the 5 shades that you can get the Haus Lab formula in. I've worn these already as well. They're incredibly hydrating, very easy on the lips. And I think that this shade, because that's the one I've worn already, can beat the Dior in terms of how much I love the formula. So I love the Dior lip glow oil for sure, but this new Catrice one I think does just as good of a job, and it's pennies at the drugstore. So let me put on the first one. This is Keep It Juicy. So we get a gigantic applicator here as well with a little bit of a divot in there. So there's a little dip that holds a lot of the product. It's quite thick. So that has to be your cup of tea. If you are sensitive to textures, you may not like it, but for how thick it is, it doesn't feel sticky, which is what I felt these were. Like when I put those on and you put your lips together, you got these like strings pulling away from your lips, and I don't like that. I don't like that sensation. This still feels very rich and creamy, and I also know that this is incredibly hydrating because I wore that one already for a full day and it was marvelous. Scent-wise, you have to be aware that these smell fruity. It's not like, it is quite sweet, I have to say, but it's not overpowering because it dissipates really quickly and it doesn't linger. And this is, I think, the kind of fruity smell that some people might like. It's got a chemical tint to it, but it's not, like, it's just a pleasant fruity smell that you get from like a chewy candy in a wrapper. You know, those kind of like gummy things. It's a bit like that. So love this shade. It's very high shine. The shade very much reminds me of the Dior Lip Glow Oil when I wear that. This is giving me the same sort of look. I feel this is even more hydrating than the Dior one. Like, I like the Dior one. I really like it. But I think this may have dethroned it. Next up is shade 020, and this is the reddish tone, which is called Drama Mama. And this I saw on the back of my hand when I took off the swatches. It will stain a little bit, so I hope it doesn't mess up the look of these other ones. And here we have 020 Drama Mama, a touch of red in there that when I was putting it on, it didn't seem that red, but now that I see the full look, I'm like, yeah, that definitely shows up. I was afraid that all of these would show up clear and that you wouldn't see a lot of difference between the different shades because they do look clear in the tube. But definitely going on, I think that you can see that. This is a little gloopier. I get a little bit of the pooling, but it doesn't, you don't feel it pooling. And I definitely think that if you were to blot this down, let me see if I can find a clean bit of my tissue here. You can take most of that gloopiness away for sure, but these are again quite gloopy. If you don't like that texture, you may not enjoy it all that much. But yeah, I like the shine it gives. It's got a little bit of hint of color, and these two darker ones, the red and also the hot pink, definitely leave a bit of a stain. As you can see, I tried to take it off to the best of my abilities, but you can just see that there's a hint of color still left. So that will also happen when you wear it throughout the day. 030 Glow for the Show is up next, and this is a hot orange. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it because if it shows up as much as the red one, orange is not my shade, but I'm wearing blue today, so it could be a nice contrast. So this is Glow for the Show 030. This looks clear on me. It doesn't really seem to be adding much color. I think it could be because of the red that it doesn't really show up, but for this you may have to have lighter lips for it to actually look okay. I also feel now that I'm putting them on and I'm pulling the doe foot out, you can see on the doe foot that the shade is a lot sheerer than when you look at it in a tube. Like, this looks like a full-on orange, but then when you take out the doe foot, it looks more like a very sort of soft orange. So it's just because the color is so concentrated in the tube that it looks this intense. It will not look like that on the lips. And I actually think I need to go out of order here, so I'm going to do 050 first, because I know this pink one will stain and this yellow one will probably not do that much. So this is 050 Spill the Tea. Let me see, this is the branding there. So 050 Spill the Tea. We'll do this first because I think the pink one, because I want to wear that as well throughout the day, is going to stain my lips again. So I don't want to muddle up this shade too much. So let me see if we turn out with yellow lips. I don't think so. So here's what that lip oil looks like. This is the thickest one out of all of them so far. This is to that level of thickness where I feel it's uncomfortable, where I don't like it. It feels a lot gloopier going on than the 3 other shades we've tested so far, but as you can see, it doesn't look yellow, it looks mostly clear. So of these, I think whether you buy this light pink one or the yellow one, it doesn't really make much of a difference. The only one so far that's really made a difference to my lips is the red one, Drama Mama. And last but not least, we have 040. This is Glossip Girl, and it's the one I'm most excited for to see how it wears. Because I love these brighter pinks for a lip oil, so not too bright once you pull it out of the tube. Yeah, so this one feels a little bit better again. So Glossip Girl is better than the yellow one. It's a little less thick and gloopy, a little less sticky, and you do get a little bit of a tint here as well. So I feel that if you want color, your best bets are the red and the hot pink. If you want something that's a little bit more clear leading, I would go for these ones. The orange one, I can't really tell if it's doing too much, but on me, this also looks clear, just so you know. But yeah, my personal favorites would be these two. These are the ones that are definitely going to make it its way into my everyday makeup stash and that I will be wearing a lot. I love a shade like this. I think it goes really well with the slightly blue look I've got going on today. I've got like a periwinkle blue eye and a blue shirt on, and I think that the pink will just set it off really nicely. So that's it. That's my review for all 10 of these new Catrice lip products. I hope this video was informative, that you got something out of it, and I would like to thank you so very much for joining me here today. I also did an overview with all of the new Essence products. That's also already up here on the channel, so I'll leave that link below if you want to see what Essence has new in store. They didn't really have any new lipstick lines, so there will be no spin-off there, but I will still be testing out all of the new eyeshadow palettes that I bought in these 2 lineups, and I'll be testing them out for you in October. So stay tuned, and then once I've had a go with everything, I always like to come on here towards the end of November, early December, to give you a full roundup of what the new Essence and Catrice lines have to offer, and that now that I've tried everything, how I feel about it. And in the meantime, all of the written blog posts with pictures go up on the blog, so you can stay tuned on there as well for when I post new dedicated review to some of these products as well. So thank you so very much for joining me. Thumbs up the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me. I make several videos every single week, and I hope to like to see you in another one of those. So take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye-bye.